Hey again, guys. One more video for today. This one's going to be on the rubric. I'm going to keep it as short as possible. Many of you do better when you see the rubric and when I go through the rubric to kind of explain what it is exactly that I'm looking for. So we're just going to run through the rubric really quickly for Project 2.2. And you should be able to see this rubric if you go into the 2.2 tab. I'll do my best to put it into a Word document or something so that you guys can pull it up if you're so inclined. It's pretty straightforward. It's not a difficult rubric to understand. It's very similar to the Cat 1 rubric. The rubric that I had for 2.1 was a little different because I was looking for sort of different things. Anyway, so here's what the rubric looks like. Hold on. Okay, so obviously the category that you really want to focus on is this first category of excellent, right? Because if you score in the excellent category, that's the best that you can do in every category. So that's what you want to aim for. So our sections are formatting and citation, expression and organization, inquiry, critical engagement with and use of evidence, I can't read, purpose, audience, and context, and then disciplinary conventions. So for formatting and citation, this project follows 8th edition APA formatting guidelines. Attributions are complete and meet 8th edition APA guidelines. So notice there that I'm specifically saying that we're following 8th edition APA. That means if you're following 7th edition APA, you're going to get some points docked. So please do, again, guys, I can't encourage you enough. Go to Purdue Owl, check out the new APA. That's the formatting that you need to be following. So please do that. And that'll, if you follow it and you follow it very, very closely, you're going to score very highly in this particular category. Okay, so expression and organization. The project is clearly organized with topic sentences and transitions. Grammar and syntax errors are minimal. So the main thing I'm really looking for here is that organization. As you know, I'm not a stickler about grammar and syntax. I will point out grammar and syntax errors to you, but I'm typically not doing that. I'm doing that to benefit your own writing. I'm not doing that because you're losing points for those mistakes. It's more that I want to give you the pointers so that you can polish your writing as much as possible. I'm more so concerned about your expression and organization. So as you know, I'm a stickler for topic sentences that also function as transitions. So your topic sentences are your kind of mini thesis statements for each paragraph. As you're writing your body paragraphs, that opening sentence should really be an introduction to what that paragraph is going to be about. And it should also function as a transition by connecting the previous paragraph to the one that you're moving into. That's why you see that language of, in addition to X, Y is this thing, or just as blank did blank, this new topic is similar in this regard, whatever. You just want that kind of language that says, here's how these two things are connected. Here's why I'm putting this, sorry, excuse me. Here's why, but the transitions are, to help your reader follow you from where you were going to where where you were to where you're going. So, you want to be clearly connecting those ideas. Okay. Inquiry is mainly referring to your thesis statement, your research question, your problem statement. So the project demonstrates an exceptional ability to create, identify, and engage in a research question statement. This means, number one, that you have a thesis that is strong, that follows the, if I give it to a stranger, they'll be able to tell me what my paper is about rule. And that is well argued throughout the paper. So, if you might get points off here if you have a strong thesis statement in and of itself, but your paper does not support that thesis statement. So this is where we're looking at, do you have a strong thesis, and then do you argue that thesis well throughout the paper? So that's what that's looking for. Critical engagement with and use of evidence, pretty straightforward. This is your ability to properly integrate your research into your writing. So this is the place where you're going to get points off if you're using hanging quotes, for example. Hanging quotes, of course, are quotes that have no setup. no explanation. You always, always, always want to follow up a quote with your own explanation of what that author is saying, and you always want to sort of set up that quote as well. The simple fix to this is according to Smith, and then you give the quote. That's your simple fix to avoid a hanging quote. But, it can be something that's much smoother than that. Like, you may start a sentence by saying, I'm just trying to think of something off the top of my head. And this is not accurate. Please don't repeat me. In January of 2020, the number of COVID cases in the United States, quote, rose by 8% or something like that, and then you would close your quote and, of course, give that citation. It doesn't have to be you doing the according to this author kind of setup. I'll try to give you guys some more examples of that when we move into some mock grading or something later in the week of how to avoid those hanging quotes. But essentially, this category is, first of all, are you putting evidence into your paper, and are you engaging with it in a way that supports your thesis and your own argument, right? So this is also the place where you would get points off if, say, you introduce a counter argument and then you don't go back in and fight against that counter argument, or if you don't give enough, explanation of why something is there, you don't connect that research back in with your own research. So this is just essentially, are you citing things? Are you citing them in a way that's beneficial to, supporting your argument? All right, purpose, audience, context. Project demonstrates an exceptional awareness of purposes, audiences, and context. So, this is going to be, the purpose of the paper. Did you get the purpose of the paper correct? Is it a research paper? Is it a paper that is argumentative and persuasive and is arguing to people in your field, right? So are you setting up audience correctly? Are you addressing that audience correctly? Are you putting your argument in the correct context that your audience is going to, number one, be able to understand it, and number two, be able to engage with it in a meaningful way? So, this is, again, one of those kind of pretty straightforward categories. Basically, this is where you want to keep in mind the purpose of the assignment, the audience that you're speaking to. So tone kind of comes into this as well. So, you're not going to write an academic paper that's dropping an F-bomb every 3 words, or, being accusatory towards other people, or calling people, stupid or something if they're opposing different viewpoints than you, that kind of thing. You're following the kind of unspoken rules of academia, and having an awareness of how to address your audience, what the purpose of the thing that you're writing is, and placing it in the correct context for it to reach that audience. So that's that. And then finally, disciplinary conventions. So this project demonstrates exceptional understanding of methods of inquiry and rhetorical strategies, including form, media, and style relevant to the discipline. So in other words, you're following disciplinary conventions that are, standard in your field. You're not, for example, you're not, like I said, you're not coming in and you're not saying, F this, F that. You're not coming in and saying, Dr. So-and-so who disagrees with my argument is a complete idiot and bastard, and you're not attacking people. You're not discrediting people you're not attacking someone on a personal, level. If you're gonna attack someone, you're attacking their argument always, and you're attacking that argument with evidence to back up why you're attacking them. You can't just say, this research is wrong. Well, how do you know that research is wrong? How are you poking holes in their argument to say that their research is wrong? Additionally, another disciplinary convention is going to be, are you writing in the correct style guide? Yes, because you're writing an APA. Are you implementing, if you're going to implement things into your paper like charts and statistics and things like that, or, graphs, like things that are going to be a visual rather than a textual based thing, are you doing that in such a way that it follows kind of the disciplinary conventions of your field where the information is easily accessible? It's not, some convoluted, crazy thing that even people in your field wouldn't be able to follow. And alternatively, it's not so simple that there's no need for it. Because remember, you don't need to put a graph in or a chart in unless it's something that would be very difficult for you to explain in a textual way. Well, depending on what your particular discipline says about those kind of things. But typically speaking, because I don't know a whole hell of a lot about your disciplines, because I'm not an expert in your disciplines, you're gonna score well in this category if you're following APA well, and if you're not, like I said, going in calling people assholes and attacking people without research to back up that argument, that kind of thing. So, that's pretty much it with the rubric. Like I said, I'm going to try to put it into a Word doc. There's some way that I can do this because I've done it before, but I'm going to have to figure that out. And I'll post that under the 2.2 tab so that you can see it. And so when I grade, that's, of course, the way that I'm going to grade your papers is by this rubric. So that's it. If you guys have questions or concerns, please let me know. Email me, send me a kick message. If you do want a conference, please set up a conference with me. We can do the via email thing. I've had a couple of people who've sent me some stuff via email. That's perfectly fine. We do not have to chat over Zoom. Just let me know. That's basically it. All right, guys. See you soon.